Sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. Anyway, so let's go ahead and get started, folks. Again, I am Mr. Soul of a Man, nighttime edition, baby. I hope everybody out there had a good, hope everybody had a good, productive Wednesday, hump day, as we ride into Thursday and Friday. Hopefully, it starts to warm up, man, because this cold weather is not it. I'm so serious. Oh, this cold weather is not it. But yeah, I don't know. This thing is not. Yeah, but how's everyone doing out there? Let's see. I think it needs to be charged up. Let's see. Yeah, but again, I hope everybody out there is doing good and great and amazing and all of that stuff. Tonight we are talking about secrets and mystery. Yep. So tonight we're talking about secrets and mystery in the Bible. You know, it talks about in the secrets of his tabernacle, so shall he hide you. So, um, you're about to, you're about to have some amazing things that are going to be happening in and around your life. I just got off of like a little business thing, and one thing the gentleman said that I totally agree with. He said, don't a lot of the stuff out here is distractions. A lot of that stuff out here is distractions. Distracting you from going out here and being the best and most amazing individuals that you can be, and um, it's trying to stop you from doing what it is that you truly want to do. Now, other distractions going to distract a lot of people, of course, but within that, man, a lot of people are going to be able to go out here and do some amazing things. And this is your first time watching Mr. Soul Lover Man, don't forget to subscribe, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. So yeah, but a lot of people are going to be able to go out here and shock the world, and what they do, and basically through who they are, like really and truly. Trying to get this thing to work, but yeah, this thing needs to be charged. Yeah. Yeah, but a lot of people are really and truly gonna go out here and just be able to shock the world. So whatever it is that you have on your heart to go out here and do this year to make your life to make your life better in just to go out here and make your life better, man, and really and truly in every sense of the word. Go and make it happen, please. I implore you to go and just to go and make it happen. I know sometimes people oh, nobody here. Well, you need to care. If nobody else, you need to care. Seriously, you need to care. And I know that um a lot of people want to feel loved and all of that good stuff, but you really and truly you do need to care. And know that there are people out here that do care about you and what you have to say, and and all of that good stuff. So let me see if I can do a quick switcheroo here. Bear with me, folks. Yeah. Let's see. All right. So we're gonna try that there, and we're gonna try this over here. But as the weeks and months, as the weeks and hmm, as the weeks and months go along, people are going to be superiorly shocked in what it is that you're doing and what it is that you have accomplished. Like really and truly, like people are going to be shocked. So all I'm saying is just silence the noise. Silence the noise. You know, if people are still goofing off and playing around, that's don't worry about them. You know, you go out, you go out and you live your best life. And if this is your first time watching, don't forget to subscribe, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, silence that noise, man. Like really and truly, like really, like oh, there we go. I just had to crank the thing up. Like really and truly, like silence that noise to the max, cause I am telling you. Hey, what is going on? Hey, I wanna come and visit Brazil, man, so bad, and I will get that opportunity very, very, very soon. Brazil is a beautiful country, with great culture. So thank you so much for tuning in from Brazil. The only Portuguese I know is like tudo bem. That's it. That's all I know. A little Spanish. That's about it. But yeah, man. But thank you for tuning in. And don't forget to subscribe, ladies and gentlemen. But if you have I get that your passions are going to be your purpose for this year, and there are no distant seconds. This is a year of first. This is a year where you go out here and you do amazing things. This is a year where you trust yourself, where you trust the process, where you trust and believe, where there is you silence those, you silence the nonsense and the voices in your head and those whoever naysay, and you silence those like naysaying people that's around you, because we've seen probably in your life, within my life, how people fall off, man. And I'm at that point where it's nothing personal. I'm really and truly at that point where I'm not going backwards to go and try to. Hey, how are you? So I'm not going backwards, trying to go and find those people that were there. If people are meant to be in your life for long term, that's just what that is. And that's just that's what that is, and that's just naturally how that goes. If they fall off for whatever reason, they fall off. My thing is, I'm not I don't have the time, the patience, or the energy to be out here looking for anybody. Because if those people were supposed to be there, they were gonna be there. Those people, if people, hey, how are you? So, for me, if people say, oh, so what is a guy like Solo mean? Like, man, this dude is a writer, man. Like, he is like there for you, but I've learned to flip that energy and pull it more towards myself, because, I just don't, I find myself, the more I try to like cheer, there's nothing wrong with cheering other people on, but these are my winning years moving forward. These are my winning seasons, So that's cool to want to cheer for other people, whatever, whatever. But how can I I love this quote this guy said. He said, "How can I cheer for like these sports people and all that stuff when my life isn't where it's supposed to be? My life isn't way up there, and I'm not winning. I'm not naturally winning within my own life. So how can I not being a hater, but I just have to take all that energy and focus it in on me. So I'm cheering. I'm cheering for me. Seriously. I'm cheering. I'm cheering for me. I'm cheering for. I'm cheering for myself and the people that are cheering for me too. So I'm cheering for that squad. I'm cheering for that tribe. And that's what and that's what that is. You can and you can call it whatever you want to call it. But I'm telling you right now, man, they got I saw a live earlier, and it was more of a spiritual live, and these young ladies, they were just talking. One young lady, she looked like she was, hood. The other young lady, she was so smooth. She said, I don't have time for negativity. I don't have time to put energy in negative people. I'm just here to do what I'm here to do. And if you're with that, cool. If not, I'm moving on because I could be doing this on my own. I don't need y'all, and in so many words. And I was like, yeah. I was like, yeah. And that's the thing. I think that we sometimes get so caught up in who's not there. Well, who's there with you now? If it is just you and your ideal, whatever that is, whatever that looks like for you, man, you gotta push ahead. You gotta move forward with that. You gotta move forward with that energy. That's just what that is. It was working, but I don't know. This thing is sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. I don't know. Yeah, but and that's just that's just naturally what that is, man. You really and truly you are going to amaze yourself. You are going to amaze yourself time and time again this year with the things that you are able to pull off, how you're able to do it. Seriously, no matter what life is throwing at you or what it looks like and all of that stuff. But be available, um, be available for you this year. That really and truly, like, be available for you. Seriously, because you're the one that's gonna have to get yourself up. You're the one that's gonna have to, move forward when you're having one of them days and you feel like things aren't going your way and whatever, whatever. But whatever. You listen. You are welcome to feel however you're gonna feel in a day. We all have those days where it's like, man, I don't know what it is, but I'm just, you're just not feeling it or it's not going. You know what I'm saying? But for me, at this point, I gotta keep pushing through. I do. I just have to. No matter what it looks like, no matter what it is, and cause like something great has been inside you for a long time. And like the doors of opportunities are so vivid now, within now, within these moments in time. So, you gotta keep going. It's cool to be entertained. Don't get me. Who doesn't love to sit down and watch a sports or a good movie and just really, just have your mind just whatever, but still, that you have work to do. I know that I really and truly know that I have, I hold on. Is she sneaking around in here? Let me see if she gonna come up. But I know that for me personally, I know that I have work to do, man, and I gotta keep pushing. I gotta keep moving. I know right now, uh, I am depending on me. Maybe my ancestors and whatever, whatever. But I know that there are people out there that are depending on me that are gonna love what it is that I bring to the table. But I know I have to. I know that I have to keep showing up. And that's just what that is, and that's just naturally what it's going to be, and that's just how that is going to go. So, am I everybody's cup of tea? Nope. Do I worry about that at this point? I don't, because I don't have time for it. I don't. I really don't. I personally, I don't argue. I don't. It's not my thing. Seriously, and I don't. I'm not gonna bring. I'm not bringing chaos to my life. I'm not. I'm not. I'm not inviting that. I'm not inviting that in my space, because I have been there. I have done that. Was younger. I wasted time, and I for me, I can only speak for me. I don't know where y'all at. Maybe y'all are millionaires and y'all don't have to worry about anything. But me, gotta go out there, and I'm gonna get it. That's just what it is. And don't forget. And this is your first time watching me. Don't forget to subscribe, ladies and gentlemen. Seriously. And this is I'm not one to be cliche and say like, oh, this is your year, and this is your year, and blah blah blah. But this is a great year to go out and shock the world. Seriously, this is a year to go out. This is a year for you to go out um and glow up and become a world champion at whatever it is you're doing. Seriously. This is a year. I'm telling you, this is going to be a year of. This is going to be a year of all. Like all of a sudden, uh, everything is falling into place. And when things go fall, don't go running back to those people that weren't there, that didn't pick the phone up, and all of that stuff. I'm telling you, don't go running back to them people. Don't do it. You know, don't listen. Don't do it. Those people are gonna be like, oh, oh man, they're gonna be trying to find the pictures of you and them from back in the day, and oh yeah, I knew such and such when and we used to hang out. It's gonna be a lot of used tos. Like I said, a lot of yeah, so it's gonna be a lot of like, we used to do this, and I remember this. That's cool, That right. That was that was years ago. And I don't, I'm not worried about any of that stuff, because I have got too much to focus on now, like really and truly. Real for me, really and truly, there's too much there's just really too much to focus on, and there's just too much. Um, I have just too much riding on this for me to worry about, negativity and what such and such is doing and all of that stuff, and blah blah. There are people on this planet that need to support folks like me, and that's what they were put here for. They were put here to go to work and do that, and that's cool. That's their life. They were there to pay for the concerts and pay for the products and make other people rich. But personally, I'm kind of tired of that. You know, Not that I don't have my favorite artists and I haven't been to concerts, and not that I'm too good for that stuff, but it's like you get to the point where um, you get to the point where you see the bigger picture. You really and truly do. You see the bigger picture. You see what it is. You know what it is, and you go for it. And that's what that is. And can I still root for people from a distance? And can I root for people from a distance? Of course I can. Very much so. Of course I can. And can I still move forward and do what it is that I have within my purpose? Yes, very much so. And there is nothing wrong with that. And there's nobody out there that can tell me any different. But for this year, I am my number one fan. I'm rooting for me. God is my witness. That's that's how that's how I'm doing it. So to maximize your profitability in this thing, to maximize your profitability in this thing, it's great to focus on you this year, and it's great to focus on all the wins that it's great to focus on all the wins that you're going to be getting, because a lot of it is like, when is it happening, when is it, a lot of it for you is going to be happening in the now and moving forward. Everything will happen all that, it's going to feel like it, but it's going to be like it's going to be greater opportunity after greater it's going to be its levels to it, and it's going to keep getting greater and greater and greater, and that's just that's naturally what that is, and that's just naturally how it's going to look, so no woe is me. Yes, you do deserve it. You deserve every bit of it, based on the tears and all of the stuff and the time that you wasted when you were younger, so that you now owes it to yourself to go out here and continue to do what it is. It's like you raise your kids, they're older, of course you're always going to be a parent, but maybe it's time for them to, I see what society, but sometimes you got to really go out there and bump your head a few times to to figure it out. And I had to do that. A lot of other people had to do that. I know if I had a kid, they were older, I would try my best to may let them have whatever, give them whatever, but eventually you have to go out there and you got to live your own life, and that's just what that is, and that it's just how that goes. I've heard people say, oh, my parents, they didn't, everybody's situation is different. I get that, but I always say my parents did the best they could. This life in society is a son of a gun. It really is. It's just me, and it's a lot of times it's tough, but not to cry about it, but just to continue to go forward, and just to make something glorious and magnanimous and all of that, and all of that good stuff. And those people left out of your life for a reason. Like, seriously, those people weren't family, they weren't friends, they were just kind of like, I don't know, they were just passing through, and that's just what that was. It was just a lesson. Chalk it up as that, and get your stuff and keep moving forward, man. You don't have to keep going through the same situations over and over again. I would hope that this year, above anything else that we've seen since 2020, can't believe it's 2026 now, that I would hope that you would want, like, some kind of progress, not just like significant progress in your life, and for that progress to keep moving and rolling over and rolling over. Like Tina Turner said, rolling on the river. You know what I mean? You want that thing to keep flowing. I would hope that people out there would, I would hope that people out there would want that. I would hope that they would, like, I would hope that they would significantly want that they would want their life to grow and look like something, look and feel like something amazing. It's There's nothing wrong with, like, looking at someone's life and not wanting their life, but to say, like, okay, yeah, that's kind of like what I want. I don't want their life, but I want, like, that level of success around there and beyond. So I'm not stressing over money and money and all of these other things, and so on and so forth, like, for real. So again, do yourself a favor. So yeah, so do yourself a favor this year and go out and do something amazing. Again, greetings from Germany. Can you please? Oh, okay. Well, hey, shout out to Unc. But yeah, man, and again, if this is your first time watching, don't forget to subscribe, ladies and gentlemen. So yeah, all I'm saying is that for this year, moving on, and it's still early. It's still it's just we're just like coming out of January, going into February. So don't let this be one of those. Oh, I'm just gonna wait till the summertime and blah blah blah. Nah, man. Start. Continue putting in work continuously, and watch how like in I don't know 4 or 5 months where you keep leveling up and where your life is and where you're like, man, I can't believe I'm traveling and visiting these places and I know these people and so on and so forth. When your name means something, when your name when your name means something to you, like really and truly. But this is definitely a year where I'll just say like this is a year where this is a year where the show must go on. So like if somebody says, "Oh yeah, man, we're gonna do this and we're gonna do that," they don't show up. You got to keep moving. That's the thing. This is that kind of year, because you don't have time within this year to be waiting on people. You don't. You gotta keep. This is a year where you show up because people are waiting on you. Because even I think to them, "Oh, how am I?" I don't. I try my best not to overthink stuff now. I try my best, really and truly. I try my best not to overthink stuff. Like seriously, I really and truly try my best not to overthink it. Because you'll be stuck on stupid, sitting there. And I'm not insulting people's intelligence. Just like when you put too much thought into something. Where sometimes just a little thinking is enough. Like seriously. But if you're gonna overdo it for anybody this year, overdo it for yourself. And I will just, you know what? Now we'll just leave that at that. But don't forget to subscribe, ladies and gentlemen. We'll holler at you good folks in the morning. Soul of a man, as always. Peace.